Center yourself like me though. Go up a little.
How about now? Should need to be higher, huh? All right, let me see
It's
how
all
we go
good. You said
here.
you're gonna stand up and do the presentation nonetheless, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up.
Welcome everyone. I have a special guest for you guys today. Hawana Jonas Waldu. Jonas Waldu is part of the Blue Revolution. He's has always been one of the main members of Team Freedom, and he's also a
But
Baitoya diplomacy chair, right?
yep, for USA.
For USA.
Mhm.
Um, Today we have an interesting topic. We will be discussing Eritrean government in exile. Jonas will do has a presentation for everyone.
Mhm.
Stalo presentation about the ideology of government in exile, and then also how the Eritrean government was established by Dr. I think it was Barakat,
Well,
uh,
no, just in general, it being established in general, the process.
in the process of how a government was created, the Eritrean government,
Hmm.
or established, not created, established. If there's any questions that anyone has or wants to debate, Jonas will do. Feel free to come up and debate him. Will not be an issue. He's very debatable. I've debated him many times. He's one of my closest friends, my allies, my colleague. We see eye to eye on a lot of things. There are a few things we don't see eye to eye, but we work it out together, and we've never had issue. I can almost say he's one of my best friends. So, um,
Right
welcome
on.
everyone. Right now,
Uh,
we're sharing on Twitter, we're sharing on Facebook, and we're sharing on YouTube. Feel free, share Gabaruo, especially on Twitter's alone, share Gabaruo so other people can come in and add their ideas to it. Without further ado, go ahead, Jonas, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Captain. I appreciate you. It's an honor to be back on live with you again. We had a wonderful time in DC, and just for everybody, today is not going to be about DC, but tomorrow we're going to discuss about our experiences in DC, how it went down, and we the results that we have, and it's very exciting information. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Today, we're going to focus on this concept called government in exile, how Hegda eventually created their dictatorship, how they originally started. We're going to start back as far back as 1985, and then we're going to have documents to prove it. And then what's going to happen is this: the whole purpose of this is to enlighten the Hizbi, because what was done in the past, everything was done in secrecy, and then all of a sudden, people were oppressed, and it was a gradual oppression, and it got worse and worse and worse year after year, and now it's to the point where now we have blue revolution. So blue revolution is designed and wired to liberate Eritrea from this oppression. So with that being said, Captain, I don't know where we go from here. I don't know how many people are watching. Just I'll follow your lead.
Yes, sir. Right now, we currently have 114 people watching, well,
Hmm.
115, and it's climbing up fairly pretty quickly.
Okay.
Um, Here's the thing. So, utilizing certain verbiage, for example, government in exile. What is the definition of GIE? It's a political group that claims to be the legitimate government of a sovereign state or semi sovereign state, but is unable to exercise legal power and instead resides in a foreign country. So, that would be us, would be the Blue Revolution. In maybe once it comes together as some sort of organized unit or to create a government in exile, we could say government exile. But you're gonna give us the fundamentals and the creation of Eritrea as a
Hmm.
country itself.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, go straight, open up the document, and we're going to go page by page, and then this is going to open up everybody's eyes and ears.
Before we go there, tell us a
Okay.
little bit about yourself, why you
Okay.
care about this so much, and in a little bit.
Okay. So my name is Jonas Wadu with Baito Yaakov USA Diplomacy Department, and I also with Blue Revolution, and also with Team Freedom. The reason why I care about this so much is because I do not like our people being oppressed. And I believe that we need to focus on liberty, justice, so that they can have the same experiences that we're having out here in the diaspora community. So that's where I'm at with it, Cap.
Excellent. So my question to you is, did you want to broadcast this on TikTok too, or you just want to keep it in these three platforms?
Where we have it now? So
We have
Twitter.
YouTube, we have Twitter, and we have Facebook.
I'm not. I mean, it'd eventually get to TikTok anyway. Just keep it
Okay,
where it's at now.
perfect. Now let's continue. What is a government in exile versus a sustainable government that's actually operating now? Can you give us that answer?
I mean, the concept, the notion of government exile is kind of a confusing terminology. When you pull up those documents, you're going to see what the options are and who you are and so forth. And then, because the government of Eritrea, the independence of Eritrea already exists. The government is a brutal dictatorship. That's not legit. It's not a legit government. So, with that being said, we just need to be recognized as a pretty much ultimately a foreign party, a foreign principal, and then we need to take over the government, and so that way that government represents the people, and then represents the Hizbi. So we need to be focusing on systems, not individuals. Systems. Once you focus on systems, system means departments, responsibilities. That's where the focus needs to be. And so with that, we'll be able to, once we get into the presentation, you'll be able to see step by step on how those systems look.
Okay, so we're at 170 people. Once 200 people arrive, then we'll go into the presentation. We're 30 away. We're moving fairly quick
Okay.
because I don't want people to be asking a lot of questions.
I
Uh,
want them to ask a lot of questions, Howard. Come on now.
well, well, not when there's least amount of people. I want
Oh,
the
okay. Gotcha.
questions
Gotcha.
to come when
Gotcha.
there's more people because they'll be asking the same question. So,
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mahari Nation, Nuheret Gabris Geher Kolahum Futsun Marhawi, welcome. Welcome to this live. Um, so, Jonas, would you say that the government in Eritrea right now operates as a gang versus, because there's this political debate. For example, I am a firm believer. At one point, you had Jabha, you had Shabia, right? Whatever our history is back then, it seems like when the G15 were in prison, all the people that actually believed in Eritrea and the sovereignty of Eritrea, Maswa'at is Khofulullah, all of them seem to be buried underground. And it seems like there's a new group. I wouldn't say new, but a group that was created called Higdef that operates as a gang in an authoritarian regime that is destroying Eritrea within and outside. And all the heroes of Eritrea, to include Shabia, Jebha, and all our forefathers, are no longer operating. They're either silent majority in Sudet or in the diaspora, or they're in prison somewhere. Seemed like he created a group and is running Eritrea to the ground with a gang versus a political organization, which hence they don't have executive branch, judicial branch, or anything like that, right? Administrative or anything like that. It's just an authoritarian running the country by himself how he wants with his supporters. Your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. It originally started as a committee. That's how it originally started as, and he operates it as a gang. It is what it is, and that's where the issue becomes. I mean, you see the fact that they don't even post the address of where they're going to do their cultural festival event publicly, right? If everybody's invited, this and that, they would post it publicly. But they know that people are not for them. They don't support the Eritrean government. They know that, so they have to move in secrecy. So the reality is, it is formed by a gang, and it is formed by individuals with self-interest. That's what it is. Everybody has their little mini self-interest. They're not thinking about the Hizbi. For us, we're thinking about the Hizbi and the country. The Hizbi and the country. The Hizbi is the people. The country is the sovereignty. We're thinking about both. For them, they're only thinking about their self-interest, period. And that's where the disconnect is. So yeah, it's a gang.
Excellent. So I've noticed with the Blue Revolution, and this is just your individual thoughts, and then we're going to the slide deck. Uh, I got a phone call for. Anyways, I've noticed once the Blue Revolution was getting attacked publicly, and we noticed that Higdef and supporters of the regime were utilizing all social media to attack us and make it seem like we were some sort of terrorist organization, when in fact they are the ones. We're just making our voices be heard. Myself and a few individuals like my sister Yorda, we have Maki, Mehret, and all these people that are on Twitter, took everyone to Twitter and created a platform where we could combat the media aspect of the Kalsi, of the struggle. And many people have came, attempted to hijack it, and they add their own twist or whatever. We're not here for fame. We're only here to free our brothers. In fact, it was successful in freeing our brothers Tupac and Marhawi, right? Once that worked, I've noticed there's a group called Diarna. How do you say it? Diarna? That's created and is systematically being utilized to control what media is being published out to the world, right? Versus just everyone coming out saying everything. They're kind of trying to control it in a respectful manner, which is awesome, because now we have people like Dr. Timnit, Martin Ploud, specific congressional members that are supporting our struggle and cause for the Blue Revolution. Even though systematically we do not have a solid plan A, and yet we do have a plan A, right? And even if we did, we wouldn't be telling the world how it operates. We just would have a plan. And what's a plan A? It's just a bunch of people that have an education, that are working to express the Blue Revolution's ideology, and ensure that our brothers that are struggling have a voice, whether it's in the court system or it's in the media, correct? So how would you say Twitter media outlets are assisting the struggle?
Say that last question again, the last part.
How is Twitter media and any other media that we utilize assisting us in
Oh,
our struggle?
yeah, Twitter is probably number one, very effective. I mean, TikTok is up there too, but Twitter, I would say the most effective one, because you're able to reach out directly to your audience, and then you're able to reach out directly to politicians and so forth, policymakers, advisors, and things like that. So you're able to reach out to them directly. And then awareness, I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. I'm glad I'm able to come in there every once in a while and speak. But the young ones that are pushing it through, they're doing amazing. They're doing great. So it's very effective.
Excellent. So my sister and a few other people like Maki, sometimes you, Mahari, our brother Mahari, uh, host a English speaking session on Fridays. We will be getting with Tefatawi, Eddie PM, and see if we can actually host English speaking events certain days of the week on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I implore you and challenge you and a few others that speak good English to
Mm-hmm.
assist us in this plan. I will take the lead on that, as I normally will do anyways, because I have
Mm-hmm.
my own media as well. And if you don't follow this media, please follow it. But without further ado, let's move on to our main topic. This right here.
There it is. Cool. So
If you can see that, perhaps you can explain to us. Is that better?
I can see it. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know
Now,
if the people can see it.
now tell me on this slide, what do
Mm-hmm.
you see, and break it down from number one. And first of all, this Exhibit A to registration statement under the Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938 as amended. This is a U.S. Department uh, form,
Mm-hmm.
and is from Washington, D.C. And for those Eritreans who say that America or the Eritrean government has nothing to do with I do with Congress and so on, here's the reason how and why the Eritrean government was created or established. So we'll go into that, and I'll let you go ahead and take the mic.
Okay, so in 1985, Jebha, remember Jebha and Shabia, they had their little battle, and then Jebha left, right? And then Shabia, they remained. But in 1985 is when they actually filled out this document, and it was set up by Dr. Badahet Habte Selassie. And then he was representing Eritrean People Liberation Front, EPLF.
EPLF.
And then the location of EPLF obviously was in Eritrea. That's what they have here. They registered as a foreign committee. This is 1985. This is October 1985. Now, the purpose of the formation, Captain, can you read the purpose of the formation? Number 8, please.
Number 8, yes, sir. Stand by.
Yep. Number 8. Just read the.
Let me
No,
exit.
no, 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 no. Go to page 1, section 8. Page 1, section 8. On the very bottom. Go back to page 1.
Okay, page 1, section 8. I've got to move these.
Yeah, that little the comments is in the way, but there you go. Now I can read it. Okay, I can read it. Okay, basically the purpose of the formation, the EPLF is dedicated to liberating Eritrea from Ethiopia and unifying all Eritreans in the independent nation. To accomplish this, the EPLF in the United States will express its point of view to members of Congress, the Department of State, and publication front viewpoint with news media.
So according to that, Jonas, the EPLF is dedicated to liberating Eritrea, okay, from Ethiopia, unifying all Eritreans in an independent nation. What that's saying is it's the EPLF and Eritrea liberate كجبروها Ethiopia كله بإريتريا زلوهاني بحسب حزم independent nation بعلا نبينا خم هاجر كن مسرت عنا زولو زلو. So to accomplish this, the EPLF in the United States will express its point. The EPLF in the United States will express its point of view to members of Congress. The Congress Department of State and publicize the front's viewpoint with the news and media. Okay.
Now, before we move on, now let's take a step back and zoom into that. You see where it says foreign government, foreign party, and foreign committee on section 5? So where does Blue Revolution lie in this mix? Is Blue Revolution a government? No. Can Blue Revolution be considered a party? Yes. Right now, Blue Revolution is considered a people's movement. It is what it is. That's how it's considered. So I just want to put that idea out there. Okay, we can go to the next page.
Okay. So this is
on the very bottom. This is where he signed.
Say again.
On the very bottom, I can't see it from. Yeah, on the very bottom, his signature is on the bottom.
So according to this page, it says this is the foreign principle, and the questions are owned by a foreign government, foreign political party, and other foreign principles. No. Directed by foreign government, foreign political party, or other foreign principles. No. Controlled by a foreign government. No. Financed by a foreign government. No. Subsidized by a foreign government. No. And subsidized in a party by a foreign government, foreign political party, and foreign principle. No. And yet that wouldn't be true, because Isaias Forki and his goons taking over Eritrea would be considered a foreign entity, not of the people. So this paper is false. But it's signed.
Yeah. So on this one right here, here's the what I'm trying to do is use this document to show you how it could be. Like, for example, Blue Revolution, for example, we're not funded by any government. And Hegdef will say, "Oh, they're funded by TPLF," some drama lying stuff, right? But we're not. This is a Hizbi movement. And
right,
so
but I'm sorry to interrupt you, but here's the key point. Number 10. Pay attention to number 10. Kandi, number 10. If the foreign principal is an organization and is not owned or controlled by a foreign government, foreign political party, or other foreign principles, state who owns and controls it. In the head, Khalot Haili, in her controls የገብረዋ ኮይኖም بخالق highly or government money mo owns Gabran Eritrea. It is not owned, it's it is controlled by the membership of the EPLF. So Eritrea is not controlled by the people of Hizb Eritrea. بعالو زوار قد فرموه انت جيرون بعال السايس is a doctor سكني برخة doctor كمان أخوانن برخة هبت السلاسة could be I don't know doctor هون خايف لي نجن برخة هبت السلاسة فرم كله السايس فرمن is برخة زبهال هجي انت تعرفوا نيرترا بت EPLF membership زلوت رحم controls جوروا بت حزب خوانن بقال خوانن بت أودبت رحيا.
So anybody who tries to form a government in exile and does not communicate with the Hizbi, it could be a challenge, is a challenge. This is an example of that. So this organization decided to form a committee, foreign committee, or however you want to call it. And then you'll see in the next pages how it evolved to provisional government, this and that. So bottom line is you need Hizbi support to be able to do this kind of stuff with sustainability.
And Maasi Zitafarimu, what year?
1985.
Okay, 1985, September 30th, 1985 is it Farimu. Can I continue?
Yeah. Next page.
Okay.
This one, same stuff. They're just disclosing on who they are, who they're going to be talking to. Go to the next page.
So on this, it says the agreement between the registrant, Eritrea,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
the above mentioned foreign principal is a formal written contract. If
Mm-hmm.
this box is checked, so Miss America contracts are home at you. Registrant is to express the
No, it's a contract. It's a contract between the registered agent. It's an agreement between the registered agent and the EPLF, and they're just saying it's being done voluntarily. That's all it is. He's just doing it voluntarily. It's
right.
not.
That shows that the Higduff always says they have nothing to do with America. In
Oh
fact, they
yeah,
have a
that's true.
contract with America.
Mm-hmm.
Voilà, Higduff type look, Miss America contract he's not in Philippines. And hell is he contract na America. This is the US State Department. This is a contract with America.
It's a disclosure. Yeah, 100%. Okay, go to the next one. Let me see. This one, let me zoom in real quick. This one, what is it? Registered agent. Okay, let me read it. This one. Okay, it says registrant will persuade members of Congress, the appropriate committee, and their staff, as well as officials in the Department of State, of the front for the front's point of view. There you go. So they're just
Tigrina, elaborate that in Tigrina, Torgumo.
wow. That's it.
Nimangisti. Kazaro
Na American Mangisti viewpoint. You translate
Kaamunuo.
it. Yeah,
Nata
you translate
American
it. Yeah, you can.
Mangisti. Kaamunuo Kufutuniom, persuade Malet.
Yeah, persuade.
To Congress, not to Congress, the
Mm-hmm.
appropriate committee and their staff, as well as officials of the Department of State, and front point of view. So,
Yeah.
Bajahum, Umonuna, Galamele, Hagare Eritrea, Meserit,
So the main point that we're trying to make is to form a government or to form a party or to form whatever, you have to have a relationship with the international community. Hegdev decided to have a relationship with America, and so for them to always, downplay America's role in this is not a good look. So let's keep going.
400 people, 404 people so far.
Yeah, and then just to be clear, the reason why we're showing this is because there are going to be organizations out there who's going to try to do this by themselves, and that's foolish because Eritrean People Movement was an organization that tried to do it by itself. EPLF DP, they try to do it by themselves. And then Mr. G, National Government in Exile, he's trying to do it by himself.
What are they trying to do?
What they're trying to do is have a relationship with the State Department, be registered and so forth, and try to do it by yourself, as opposed to getting everybody involved and educating the Hizbi about what this is. Then that way the Hizbi has more support. You have to have a strong foundation of how you're going to govern before you try to say you want to be a government in exile.
So according to you, you're saying Mr. G, you said Mr. G. You said who else? Mesfin Hagos. Mesfin Hagos Initiative.
Back in the day, Mesfin Hagos created a group.
Leon Elias were all part of that. Mesfin Hagos Initiative. What was the third one?
Then Adhanom split from him, but he passed away. He split from him and created Eritrean People Movement.
What was the other two?
That's it. That's three.
Wasn't Tesfat's M part of this thing when he went down to Tigray to request assistance?
I'm not. Well, we'll see in the document. I can't remember. I don't think that's his name though.
So they're not. How can they circumvent a form that's already signed and approved by the State Department and Congress? Or are they trying to create, in rebuttal to this form, a government in exile in the diaspora?
First of all, Cap, anybody can create a form. Anybody can get registered. That's the easy part. But the key thing is to get galvanization from the Hizbi. For example, if you look up through the Department of State, you'll find stuff for Oromo. You'll find stuff even for Fano. My gosh, Fano Allah in there.
Yeah, but we're trying to figure out what you're telling us what they were trying to do. What are they trying to do?
They're not doing nothing wrong. What I'm saying is, in order to really be effective, you have to have the support of the Hizbi, and the best way to get the support of the Hizbi is to educate them on what's what and what's going on. And so that's why we're putting it out there. The concept of government in exile is confusing everybody, and it doesn't give anybody an opportunity to be educated on it. There's options on here. There's foreign party option. There's foreign government option. There's corporation option. There's committee option. There's option on here. So we have to educate ourselves on this kind of stuff is what I'm trying to say.
I understand. But the other people that are attempting to circumvent this, what are they attempting to create? A government in exile?
Yeah, so what they're attempting to do is create, let's just call it government exile, and which is, and I'm not saying that they're wrong on that. I'm saying they can do what they want to do. All I'm saying is they need to inform the people on what they're doing and their structure of how they plan to govern, so that way they can get more support. Like, for example, if you're telling me you want to get rid of Isaias, and that's the only thing you're telling me, you're not telling me nothing else, I'm going to look at you like, that's it? What else you want to do? Because how do I know that you don't have any other hidden agenda? What I want to make sure is we have an understanding of how things are going to be governed. We have an understanding how things are going to be secured. We have an understanding. Then once we have an understanding, as long as we have safeguards, everything should be fine.
Agreed. But if you're going to speak for the Eritrean people and you're going to attempt to do a government in exile and an attempt to rebuttal this paper right here, right? If you're going to rebuttal this form that the Eritrean government already has in place, then we, the people, should know about it. Any form.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. I understand. You can't be trying to create a government in exile without the Eritrean people knowing about it. Because if you do, then we'll be surprised and say, hey, we didn't know about that, right?
Exactly.
And if so, who's going to lead it is the main issue. Eritrea.
Exactly. Thank you. Now we're on the same page. Okay. Now, this is 1986. Hey, G, this is a funny one. So what happened was they changed the registered agent and they called it, the address is in D.C., Washington, D.C. The registered agent now is called EPLF, Eritrean People Liberation Front, and the address is 2715 Odeya, whatever street. And then the principal is still the same, Eritrean People Liberation Front, but the location now is in France. That one, I have no idea what that's all about, but it's in France.
The location of this is the registrars is in France?
No. So for the previous year, their foreign principal was physically in Eritrea. Now, for whatever reason, the principal address is in Paris, France, 1986. They're still registered as a foreign committee, by the way, and this is 1986. This is just an idea to put out there. It doesn't have no meaning to me. Well, I just want to let you know that they moved the principal location.
Okay, so unfortunately for Hizbi Eritrea, this Woodib had some people that were thinking ahead. Had a few smart people that probably believed in Eritrea and say it's all bad, even though I oppose the government.
I'm with you, Captain. I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, they decided that obviously they were going to think for Hizbi Eritrea and then register with the Department of State, U.S. Department of Justice, and say, hey, we have a country. And then I remember at that time frame in the 80s, Ethiopian parliament came and spoke in Congress and said, these people don't believe in their freedom and that we should not be freed from Ethiopia. And I'm assuming that time frame, that's when we signed, or we as Eritrea signed this and said, no, we need to be freed from
this is building. Okay, the purpose of this 1985-86 is to build relations. You're going to see the relations that they built. Remember, the war is still happening right now. There's still, 86, 87, 88, 89. The war is still happening. Russia got cut off in 89, right? And the war is still happening. 91 is when the independence. So let's keep going. It's going to make sense. Okay, same thing. Next one. Next slide. Okay, let me see the same thing. Next one. We're going to go to stuff that matters. Keep going, Howie. Yep, same thing. All they're doing here is, just so you know, all they're doing here okay, here we go. Now we're talking. This is something different. Okay, so now this one, let me see what the year this is. This one is 1990, May 7th, 1990. Nothing significant on this one, Howie. Sorry about that. Next page. It's going to get significant a little bit later. Okay, here we go. Now it gets significant. Now, they added some names on here. If anybody knows Dr. Saleh Meke and Dr. Wadizian Misgana, they were added as people to work the movement, part of the committee. And then they hired their first lobbyist, Susan Davis, first lobbyist.
Tell us about Susan who?
Susan Davis, she's a lobbyist. She helped them out. I actually spoke to her. She helped them out to get connected with the right departments, with the right people. On the next page, it's
Did
going.
Miss Susan Davis understand what she was doing then, or she understands it now?
No, no. I mean, lobbyists is lobbyists. You pay them, they get you where you need to get to. At the end of the day, is your vision understandable? That's really what it comes down to. But anyways, her responsibility was to get her connected to whoever she got them connected to, and on the next set of slides it's going to show you who she got connected to. But long story short, she worked with them before, and then she's open to the idea of working with our movements as well.
Why can't the Blue Revolution get in their heads that we require lobbyists ourselves?
I mean, I'm hoping after this presentation that conversation comes up again, and then we discuss on how that can be financed, this and that. But more importantly, we need to focus on what our system of governance is going to be. Then that's going to solve the problem of lobbyists, this and that, because then that can be decided a lot easier. But if you don't have the right foundation or the right vision or the right carrot, how are you going to get everybody on the same page? So that right vision has to be clear. Do you want to be governed by one party system, or do you want to be governed by a multi-party system that has multiple departments, executive, legislative, and judicial? That stuff has to be understood.
Okay, so a lot መብዛሕትኦም ኣብዚ ተዋምቲ ቃለሱ ዘለኹም ላቢየስ ተሪፍና ዘሎ እዚኦም ክእለት ዘይነበሮም ትምህርቲ ዘይነበሮም ሓንቲ ዘይነበሮም ላቢየስ ሒዞም ሓንቲ ፃዕረ ከፊሎም ነዚ ሃገር ኤርትራ መሲሪቶም መን ያ ከዓ ባዕላ ኣብዚ ትነግረኩም ኣላ
but she's not the only one, Captain. I'm going to show you
right, there's many lobbyists ብዙሕ ኣለዉ ግን ኣብቲ እዝኒ ናይ ፕሬዚደንት ፓርሊመንት እርትኣቱ ደሊኹም በዓ ሱዘን ኢ ዴቪስ ከፊሎም እዚኦም ህግደፋዊ ገለ ዝበሃሉ ብገንዘብ ሰሪሖም በር ባዕሎም ከም ፍልጠት ዘለዎም መንገዲ ንካንግረስ የብሎምን ወላ ሓደ ፃዓዱ ክሰምዕዎም ኣይደለዩም ግን ከፊሎም እዚ ንዓና ተሪፍና ዘሎ ላቢየስ ክንሕዝ ኣለና ከም ብሉ ሬቮሉሽን ወላይ ነሰማዕ ብዘይገድስ ላቢየስ ሒዝና ከፊልና ድምፅና ነስምዕ ኣብ ካንግረስ ኣነ ዮናስ ጋር ብሉ ኦን ፌስ ንኸውን ነዚኣ ተዛሪብናላ ግን ሰምዓና ሲብና ፀገም የለን
Okay, go to the next one. Okay, let me see this one. Nothing, sign. Okay, next one. This one, exhibit A. This might be a good one, actually. One more. Next one. Okay. All right, this is decent. This one's good. So this one tells you where they got their money from. In 1989, 1990, they got their money from EPLF, I guess. And they got $79,000. I'm assuming it's from traveling back and forth. I'm not really sure how they got the money, but the source says EPLF. 79,000. And then go to the next page.
So if he set forth below in the required detail separately for each foreign principal and account of such monies, 1989, 1990 from EPLF, expenses ilom 7,946 قرشي خفيلهم, and this is to who?
No, to their organization. So they're saying their organization received $79,000. Okay, here we go. Now, this is money being spent. The first one is Hagos Gebrhiwet. That's AKA Hagos Kisha. He got paid $3,600. Tesfa something. You can read it, Captain. Can you see it? Tesfa
Gebrhiwet. Celeste Shidishtamiti. Tesfa
Gebrhiwet.
Mazen. Shidishtamiti. Razane Malhani. Landlord Kani, Office Cent, Shawat Tashih, CMP Telephone Western and Union Post Office, Scanny Communications, Asar Tashih.
Skip down to the bottom. You see Susan Davis? She got paid $2,000. There you go. That's your lobby money right there.
Susan Davis, Kotashah Kufilom Alabi, Shru Gizi Husuri Neru Malet.
Yeah. What's I tell you the price that she told me? All right, let's go to the next one. That was good. So the total they spent was like 37,000, whatever. That's how much they spent. It is what it is. Now they're moving on to the next one. Okay, go to the next page. This is nothing. Okay, so now I don't know.
How much the meeting? There's 523 people. How much the meeting is Ranchudish and Sabir Inalo? Share copy link. This is excellent information. Kulu زغورو
Now,
تي اي بي ال اف قالت شعبيه نتي حزب كمسرت تخلو بمنتاي منقد يجري نتي هاجر مسريتوا كلنا هلا بتشبت متيناكم شير
yeah.
كوبي لينك شير
Now the purpose
تويت.
of doing. I got to remind everybody the purpose of doing this is because I'm a firm believer is you have to teach the people on what we're getting into, right? Especially if you're talking about governing. Governing is a whole nother level, and so you have to teach the people how we got here, how they did it, how they did it. Now, if you think back in 1990, what did you see in America? I remember seeing a lot of talk, a lot of distribution, a lot of people going to libraries, a lot of newspapers talking about things like that. So on here, it says right here, they distributed information to public officials, legislation, government agencies, newspapers, editorials, civic organizations, libraries, educational individuals, and so forth. So they disseminated information through magazines, press releases, all that kind of stuff. They disseminate area TV. I'm sorry, the radio and TV broadcast. What does it say? Pamphlets, lectures, speeches, letters. So a lot of galvanization was going on during that time because everybody was united for the purpose of independence. Now, the vision was clear. The vision was independence. The vision that was not clear is how are we going to be governed afterwards? Some people thought democracy. Some people thought something. Some people thought that. Then at the end, democracy was the winner, and they even formed a constitution. They even formed all that kind of stuff. They had different branches. They had a parliament. Everything was going towards a direction. And then Madad Meitziu, and then Ferisu. So that's why we have to be clear on what we want, and we have to have safeguards. Safeguards means impeachment process in the event somebody doesn't follow suit. So that's just an indication on. Go ahead.
So before you continue, can I share a quick video?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me if you see this.
Don't lose that document though.
No, I won't. Do you see this?
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Listen to this.
Oh yeah, I remember this speech. Go ahead.
Let me put it on full screen. Is it on full screen?
I mean, I can see it.
Okay, ready? Tell me if you can hear this though.
In Ethiopia, because if a referendum were to be held today, now in Eritrea, it would be held under the totalitarian control of the Eritrean People's Liberation Front, which is a totalitarian organization with all the nomenclatura of communist organizations elsewhere in Europe, in Eastern Europe. It had its cells in factories, in towns, in villages, and schools. And people will be forced, literally forced to vote in Ethiopia. Because if a referendum were to be held today, now in Eritrea, it will be held under the totalitarian control of the Eritrean People's Liberation Front.
Wow, that's powerful.
Now,
I've never seen that actually.
Let me Exile. Now,
sure.
So that colonel right there, he was against our freedom. He wanted, even though it was Shabia that was, in charge at that time, he was making his case and claim against why Eritrea should not be liberated, right? That was his whole point. Let me get you back on the screen.
I think he was saying, why should Eritrea not have its referendum under EPLF is what he was trying to say.
Correct.
But I think there was a desire to have independence. There was definitely, I don't think there's an argument on the desire to be independent.
But him representing Ethiopia, he didn't want Eritrea to have the referendum. He didn't want Eritrea to become a sovereign nation. He wanted it to remain as part of Ethiopia.
Got it.
So there's that ties into why all this was happening at that time frame. So we needed liberation, but we didn't expect the EPLF to be overthrown. And I'm gonna say the EPLF because Shabia has its history. It has, they paid the price as well, just like Jabha and everybody else. That's our history, right? There's no way, whether you're opposition or not opposition or Dagafai or supporter, you can't overlook the fact that our people paid the price for that. Shabia and Jabha paid the price for that, right? They paid the price for that against Ethiopia. That's a fact. Doesn't matter what your political stance is. Now, it's a difference of ideology and what you believe in, but you cannot say Shabia did not fight for, you know what I mean? Well, and I think the youth has this confusion where they think Shabianism is the issue in Eritrea. I disagree. I think Shabia and Sarawit Eritrea and Jabha and all the Biherat and everyone else paid the price for the sovereignty, and they shed the blood for our people. But I think that Higdef circumvented all that, buried all the G15 and Shabia heroes and Jabha heroes, and took over Eritrea, and now is being ran by Higdef. And Higdef is a whole different authoritarian regime and party that has nothing to do. So I think there's a confusion there. And I've done a lot of studies on this, and I feel like the youth doesn't know how to separate Shabia from Higdef. Me personally, that's my personal opinion. But let's continue on your.
Okay, next page. Let me see. Okay. Oh, he signed. Okay, so somebody who signed on this one. The one that signed this one, now they had their little mini democracy melody. Another person signed. Tesfa Gemra Zion signed. So on May 1990. Okay, that's just something to put out there. All right, next page. Okay, now this is where it gets busy. So here, this is pretty much diplomacy in action. They met with different departments. I can't see it from here, but I can just Ethiopian desk. They went to the Carter Center.
Well, meeting with individuals, it says October 11, John Hall, State Department, Ethiopian desk, briefing on Atlanta talks between the EPLF and the Ethiopian government. October 17, Richard Joseph, African fellow at the Carter Center, updating situation in Eritrea. October 19th, Nancy Soderberg, foreign policy assistant to Senator Kennedy. Wow, in Atlanta. October 24th, Congressman Ben Jones and John Lewis briefing in Atlanta.
John Lewis, they know John Lewis. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's
October 26th, Peter Solomon, Second Secretary, Embassy of the Soviet Specialist Republic, updating on the situation in Horn of Africa.
They even met with Russia. Okay, so Captain, let me explain to you this. This is important. Diplomacy is a big thing. It's not easy. And it's, for me, I'm Eritrean American. Period. Can't nobody take that away from me. That's who I am, Eritrean American. So with that being said, when I go to the White House or when I go to different people in Congress, I'm speaking from an Eritrean American standpoint. I'm not speaking from a political standpoint or whatever, right? And then with that, who's the organization? Baita Yaka USA is who I represent. Who else do you support? Team Freedom, Blue Revolution, every wood dove. And we're going to talk more about that tomorrow, about our DC experience, because I don't want to spoil the event on that. But my point is, when they were operating as a foreign principal, EPLF Ibalu, they had to register with the Department of State, and then they met with all these people. They pushed their point of view. This is diplomacy. This is diplomacy. And so if you guys want to get to this level, it can be done. But we have to be clear on how we're going to govern Eritrea. Then we have to elect the people that's going to do this for us. We don't want to just say a self-declared person and just jumps up and does this, and where we don't have any idea of what's being said and what's being said, and we don't have no idea of how we're going to be governed. You have to make sure that his beat participates in this. And then we'll talk about more about the DC tomorrow. But go ahead, Cap.
Absolutely. And to add to that caveat, if you're going to discuss Eritrea, you have to work solely on behalf of Eritrea without any confusion. The problem I'm starting to see is there's a lot of confusion. People want to do everything at once. You're talking about Ethiopia, certain countries. No, if we're focused on Eritrea, we need a free Eritrea, then focus on Eritrea. It's too much going on. Everybody has an agenda, right? And the issue is if everyone just stuck to free Eritrea, then we could just focus on free Eritrea. Everything else on the side is a distraction. You know what I mean? So as Eritreans, that's what we should be working on. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay, next page. Okay, yeah, same old shit. So this is diplomacy. They're meeting with more organizations.
So Mohammed A. Megan, Consul General, Somali Embassy, was also on this brief.
Yep, there you go.
There's a lot of people that from outside and inside that were part of this process. Christopher Straub, staff of the Senate. Okay.
Yep. There you go.
More people, Congressman Thomason Flogoda and his legislative assistant Ann B. Saratori discuss EPLF's position on relief routes and EPLF's readiness to cooperate with donors to facilitate relief activities.
Yeah, they communicate with USAID, all the logistics and all that kind of stuff during that time. Remember, this is around 1990 we're talking about, so it's getting closer to independence. So they knew it was coming. Independence is just does not happen overnight. The leaders of independence, they know when independence was going to happen before it happened, because they're the one with the strategy for it to happen, right? So all this communication and so forth that we do with politics, sometimes we know a policy before it pops out. And I anticipate some policies popping out.
Congressman John Lewis, everyone in the U.S. Senate, and pledges of alleviation of distribution obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, let's go to the next page. Yep. The next one.
Speeches, interviews.
Mm-hmm. Is there any questions that's popping up on the media in this room that people need to know, Captain?
I'll check in 1 second because we're on full screen right now.
Okay, my bad.
Let me exit full screen. Let me
see who signed this one. Oh, Captain, look at this. Guess who signed this paper? The one that you're showing right now, EPLF Deputy Representative. Okay, Tesfa Gebrazian. Okay, no, nothing special. Okay, next one.
We have a few haters in here too. I got
it's
one.
Okay. Let them hate. If they have a good question, we can talk. But if they're just hating, let them hate.
Yeah, as long as they're here getting educated. Dr. Barakat was leading the writing of Eritrean Constitution. He is living in exile. Okay. Yes. Cappy, please let Jonas know, make his point on why he's bringing all these documents. Okay.
I'll answer that one.
Yaka never gets enough credit for the job they do. Sad. Yeah, it's almost become.
Yeah,
okay. Well, I was gonna chime in on that. Like me personally, I'm not in the organization, but I support all justice seekers. But there are times where they don't get their credit, right? It's almost taboo to say, "Oh, Yaakov did this, Yaakov," and I know a lot of people attack Yaakov, but most of the people that attack Yaakov, you know what I noticed? Weren't Yaakov. Most people that attack Yaakov got kicked out of Yaakov or were in Yaakov and were found out. It's crazy to me. Yeah. I personally has never joined Yaakov, and I know they try to say, Captain, Yaakov, you gotta gega.
No, Captain's not Yaakov.
But as far as organized and funding, I would say Yaakov they're well organized. They have some smart people, and they have a funding. So I don't understand why there's such a big hatred for them. But then I wouldn't say, I think it's just individuals and certain individuals. I don't think it's Hizb Eritrea understands what Yaakov is capable of, just like all the other Wadabe, Bright Future. They're well organized and they got systems in place and manifestos. Each one of these Wadibs, they bring their own capabilities to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to the question on why we're sharing this document is very easy. The reason why we're sharing this document is because it's important that Hizb knows how the government was formed, and it's important Hizb knows when people talk about government exile, it's important that they know where they're coming from. So, for example, Mr. G is going to be doing a presentation about the government exile, right? And I'm not faulting him for that. Go ahead, make it happen. Now, the key thing is you have to educate the Hizb on what the systems are for governance, of how to become in a position, how to vote, bylaws, and so forth. That's the key. That's the key. And so by us publicizing this information, right, it's going to be able to give an opportunity for the Hizb to collect knowledge and collect information. And if they see something or they get inspired and they want to participate, then that's the time to participate. I am Baito Yaakov USA Diplomacy. I'm part of Baito Yaakov USA Diplomacy. And then we were doing our research, and the question is, do we keep this to ourselves and just make it happen, or do we educate the public on how to make it happen, and then get all the Wooddips and so forth to organize together? So the answer was get all the Wooddips and organize together. So Baito Yaakov already has a working coalition with different Wooddips. They already went to Brussels and so forth. They already had their meetings out there. And then here in America, we have our coalitions and diplomacy. We do all that. See what I'm saying? So we're already practicing what we're preaching. The next step that's left in T.R.A.P is to make sure that we get this foreign party business figured out. And right now, if you think about it, every Woodip supports Blue Revolution. So logically, Blue Revolution sounds like the answer. So let's keep going. Let me read this one. What's this, Cap?
This just says, has there been any change in information previously furnished? I feel like the Eritrean government signed this to get the country and the backing and then turn around and betray this document.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. So this is May 8th, 1990. No, this is November 8th, 1990. Let me see if there's anything new.
It says
I'll tell
October.
you. Oh, did I misread it? My eyes? No, on the bottom, Howard. It says November, N-O-V, 8th. There's nothing new. Go to the next
Okay.
page. Next page.
Next page. Okay.
Okay, let me see this one. Nothing new. This just talks about the same old shit. Okay, next one.
So this just says about EPLF getting lobbyists among government representatives in the United Nations.
Yeah, there's going to be a shocker pretty soon. That's going to shock everybody. I cannot wait to see it.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. I'll see it when I know it. Nope, next one. This one, not really a shocker. You already seen this before. Same people got paid. Susan Davis is not on this list. It's Hagos Gebrhiwet, Tesfaye, and Rezene. Yeah, same people. So nothing new on this. Okay, next one.
Propaganda. Let me see. Okay.
Same, yeah, distribution, media distribution. Keep going.
During the 6-month reporting period, did you disseminate or cause to be disseminated political propaganda among any of the following groups? English, yes. Did you file?
Keep going, Captain. This ain't nothing. Keep going. One more. Keep going. This is we know what this is. This is diplomacy meetings. That's all it is. Now the transition is about to happen. Remember, it's not 1993 yet. It's about to be 1993 in a few minutes. Keep going. Boom. Now I think this is 1993. There you go. So this is April 8th, 1992. They changed the name to Provisional Government of Eritrea.
Shim Kairomo?
Yes, it says it right there on the corner. The Eritrea is a Provisional Government of Eritrea. That's when the change happened. Simple declaration, 1992. That's what it says right there.
Small, it's difficult to read, but yeah, explain fully changes. Why does it say no, though? Has there been change in information previously furnished in this connection with the following? Provisional Government of Eritrea. Okay.
All right, next page. Same old stuff. Keep going. Go back. Okay, look on the bottom. Now, look what it says. It says EPLF. Read the question. Number 11.
Number 11 says, during the 6-month reporting period, have you engaged in any activities for or rendered any services to any foreign principal named in items 8, 9, 10 of the statement? Yes, and that's, have you connected with foreign principal? Have you required any foreign principal acquired 6-month reporting period in addition to these named 8, 9 list of foreign? Okay. So then it says, if yes, identify which principal and describe in full detail your activities and services.
There you go. So
congressional aids.
So they disclose that the provisional government is working with EPLF. That's how they separate the two. And they say it's working with EPLF. They disclose that. So there you go. That's your EPLF right there. And then it says, oh, you missed it. Okay, good going. It's okay. They're lobbying with Congress. Okay, so this one right here is money received, and it's just income coming in. And where did it come from? It came from Eritreans and others. So this is just proof that, who's be sending money to galvanize the independence. $17,000.
Permit to travel below Mility.
Yeah, probably travel back and forth.
Okay.
Okay, this is expenses. Let me see the names. They took everybody. They took the names off. So the only mentarifu is Hagos Gebrhiwet.
Hagos Kisha.
Yeah, that's it.
$30,000 almost.
No, 3,000, not 30.
Well, on the bottom, the total sum is $29,250.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is all has something to do with him: communications, electric bill, office supplies, blah blah blah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let me see what else. This one. Yeah, this ain't nothing. Yes. Oh, look on the very bottom. It says, read it. It says Provisional Government of Eritrea. Dash EPLF.
Dash EPLF.
There you go. Okay. And then this page just describes the distribution. Now we're going to get into the, keep going, Cap. We're going to get into the other movements. Same with the, yep, keep going. Keep going until I tell you to stop. Stop.
List states and territories of the United States to which material was transmitted. Wow.
Everywhere. Because that's how, if you guys want to create like a government or independence, or the Hizbi has to know. So they spread it out to the Hizbi of the material of independence, this and that, but they didn't share all what they were doing. No one knew what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. All right, let's go to the next one.
So 465 copies transmitted to Alabama, Arizona, California, Colorado, Kentucky, Connecticut, DC, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Maryland. No, hold on. Massachusetts, right? Maryland. I can't barely see this.
No, it's okay. It's just states.
MI, Michigan, Minnesota.
America below.
North Carolina, yep.
Yeah.
Delaware, New England, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, VA, Vermont, Washington, Kula. Na America, dinatong propaganda, push mo malatik admiti. And this is the provisional government of Eritrea. Define provisional.
Provisional means, to me, provisional means transition. Like provisional means the current, the government that was in place at that time. Remember, this is 1992, by the way. This is before even the referendum. This is after 1991. And then let me see what it says right here. Yeah, so now, moving forward, April 8th, 1993, they still call it Provisional Eritrean Government. You'll see the name change pretty soon. It's going to be a different one.
You know, want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Yep, keep going. Stop. This is income coming in. 31,000 came in. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, but provisional kind of means temporary. So if it's temporary, at one point they got rid of that and became permanent.
Yeah, and you're going to see that change pretty soon. I'll show it to you. Okay, this one, what does it say? Yeah, same shit. Okay, next one. Distribution. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, now this is more diplomacy relation. Wait, right there. Nothing new. So this is April 3rd, 2009. Okay, 1993. Keep going. The news about to happen pretty soon.
776 people. Copy, link, share, retweet, Facebook, share.
Keep going.
That's YouTube got subscribe.
Okay, so now, same stuff. It just says they have an affiliation with EPLF. It's still called Provisional Government. So they disclose that they're still affiliated with Shabia. Remember, their objective was to unite Eritreans. And I don't see any uniting going on right now, by the way, for the governance part. Keep going, next one. Keep going. Okay, what is this? This is new income. Oh, this is a duplicate. That's what it was. Sorry, Howard. Keep going. Okay, I can tell by the numbers. Okay, this is a new one. Okay, so now the expenses. Hagos Kishash still in the mix. He's getting paid $3,600. Ahmed Haji Ali, $3,600, and then Vicky Remster, $6,900. So she must be another, professional, maybe lobbyist or something.
Lobbyist.
She got. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. All right. Next one. Keep going. Okay. Oh, go back. Let me see that name on the bottom. Let me just double check.
Again, Provisional Government of Eritrea.
Yep. And then it says EPLF in parentheses. Okay. Next one. Remember, this is 1993 right now. We're in 1993. Distribution of magazines and all that. That's fine. Propaganda. Okay, that's fine. Keep going. One more. Okay, all the way. Go through. Boom, boom. Wait. This is important. Now, 1993, Halifu Allah. Now the year is 2002. Let's look at the bottom one first. It's called, the country is called Government of Eritrea Embassy. That's the name of the new registered party, whatever. Now, I think as a government, you don't have to register anymore in this program. So you're considered government, and they hired a lobby firm called Greenberg, whatever, Greenberg Tronin, LLP. And after they hired the lobby firm, they paid them $250,000 for the 6 months period on October 3rd, 2002. So during that time, I'm pretty sure Hegde was talking crap about America, sure. But they hired a lobby firm to work with America, just so you know. And the
What's the main
requirement.
name? What's the main name up top? Gebra
Okay.
Mariam
No, okay.
Adhanom.
Okay. My fault. I should start from the top. The top is the top is a justice seeker. The top is a justice seeker. He passed away already, Adhanom Mariam. He was a leader of, and he at this moment in time, he worked with Mespen Hagos. And the group that they created is called Eritrean People Liberation Front Democratic Party. That's the firm that they created. The purpose of the firm, the registrant will engage in lobbying. Same thing. Remember, Mespen Hagos came from the same camp, so he knew the system. They know the system. And then what they did was to branch off the system. They saw what Isaias was doing, and they wanted to create their own. So, they have a right to do that. That's a good thing. The key is let the Hizbi know. So the registrant will engage lobbying, campaigning, and fundamental activists. The registrant will also recruit members, engage in public awareness programs by conducting public seminars and lectures, and disseminate, publish party. Okay, so what he's doing is, with the Department of State, they're disclosing what they're doing as a party called Eritrean People Liberation Front Democratic Party, which is good. Now, on the one on the bottom, that's the government of Eritrea. Now you have two movements going at the same time, which is completely fine. The only thing I'm saying is let the Hizbi know. Then once you have the Hizbi knows, then it works out. But ultimately,
I
if you
think
have,
Adhanom understood what the way, the direction they were going, and at that point he broke off.
that's what it sounds like. Yeah. So here's the thing: you don't want people to be going solo dolo. You need a coalition of the willing. You need a coalition of the willing, and you cannot just go solo dolo. And so that's what they try to do. They try to go solo dolo, and then you'll see what happened to them. Now, next one. No, not next one. Stay that same one. So, so now the one on the bottom part, that one shows you how much the government of Eritrea was paying. It's called Government of Eritrea Embassy was paying to a lobbyist firm. It's $250,000. So that happened in 2002, October 31st. Okay, go
It
next
says
page
they were
down.
trying to strengthen. They use lobbyists to strengthen the relationship between Eritrea and the United States.
Of
The
course.
registry also met with U.S. government officials to obtain financial aid for Hegdef. Asilkum sum'u. The
Hold on.
registrant also met with the U.S. government officials to obtain financial aid for African countries and governments in the face of widespread civil
And
unrest and famine.
yeah, and PFDJ wanted to get USA to have a base in Eritrea. That's what the push was for during that time, just so you know. And the USA said no.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're on the same page. Yeah. I remember that too. Donna Rumsfeld went out there, and I think. Hold on. I can send you a picture. Yeah. Let me send you a picture, Cap, because it's important that we get this out there. Here you go. Okay.
Almost 900 people in here watching.
Hey, hold on. It's gonna come for you from a diplomat. Abel is gonna send it to you right now. I'm trying to get it too. For some reason, I can't get it. Highway. He's gonna send it to you as soon. Okay, as soon as our brother sends it to you, I want you to show the picture of Donna Rumsfeld and Isaias Workers shaking hands. Anyways, America said no. It was during the coalition of the willing, during Iraq War and so forth. And Abel, make sure you send it to Captain, please. Okay, so now as soon as you get that posted, now next one. This right here, Cap.
What is this?
The one we're looking at is when Adhanom and Gebra Mariam and Mespen Hagos their partners. And
So it says, let me read it. It says, background: Eritrea became an independent state in May of 1993 following a military defeat of the occupying Ethiopian army in May 1991. The Eritrean People Liberation Front is the organization responsible for the achievement of Eritrean independence. Now, the EPLF, later renamed as the People's Front for Democracy and Justice, PFDJ, continues to rule in the country as the only party forming the government of the state of Eritrea. As part of the move towards democratization and establishment of constitutional government in Eritrea, so small. I can barely read it. A national constitution was drafted via a participatory process, which we later ratified by the
Assembly.
Constituent Assembly on May 23rd, 1997. Following the end of the border war with Ethiopia, there was a strongly felt opinion among prominent government officials and the general public, as reflected in the resolution of the National Assembly in September 2000, that the government should immediately implement the Constitution.
Yeah.
And Isaiah spelled it there.
Yeah, so the names on here is pretty much a lot of people got arrested, and they're I think this is read the names so people know. Number one.
So the challenge. So Hizbis, Mr. Mangist Halaf Tagalas Nobody's Constitution is Zelena Yedlena Haji Zelena Ibloner, but obviously failed at home. He didn't implement it. It says the challenge for democratization was first carried to the government by a group of prominent government officials listed below.
G15.
Yeah, G15. That's Netizerlena Zuluznover Romanium, Mohammed Ahmed Shrefo, Haile Wadnase, Mesfun Hagos, Ogbe Abraha, General, Hamid, I can barely see it, Saleh Keika, Estefano Suyum, Saleh Keika, Burhane Gebre Esgaviher, Aster Fetzaisen, Mohammed Burhan Belata, Petro Solomon, G15.
There's one
and
more.
out of all of them, Mesfun Hagos was the one I got out, right?
Yeah, and then there's another one too. Go to the next page.
Germano Nati, Barachi Gabriel Selassie, Arhano Gerumariam, Hylos Menkarios. So out of all of them, how many escaped? Andano, Andahano?
Hale Mankarios and Mesfun Hagos are the two that I know.
I believe Mesfun Hagos snitched on them and was allowed to escape. That's just my personal opinion. Again, I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think he snitched.
Okay.
Because he knows too much.
All right. So this right here shows you that there was an effort made to protect our democracy in Eritrea. Sure.
But
there was that.
But in Taibula Lozi, is G15, not net Yedlena, rule of law Yedlena, Yulunerom, Zion prominent leaders, generals, Galamele. But the government of Eritrea was very unresponsive to these people or to this popular demands, but was very undemocratic in dealing with the matter. 11 of the signatories of the open letter remain in detention since September of last year or back then on trumped up charges of treason. 3 of the above referenced signatories, including myself, Governor Mesfun Hagos, Ambassador Haile Menkoros, were outside of Eritrea. So they got lucky at the time these arrests occurred. Yet the government rescinded our diplomatic passports further to these undemocratic actions. The government of Eritrea canceled general elections scheduled for December 2021. Order shut all the private
2000 what? I don't 2000, not 21.
I'm sorry, 2001. 2001.
There you go.
I can barely see it. Ordered shut all private newspapers, arrested and or forced into exile most of these editors.
Hey, can you go to the previous page?
But this is important. The government of Eritrea also jailed and continues to jail hundreds of citizens on suspicion of support of the causes raised by the reform movement initiated by the group of I5 or 15 نانتا لكم زلو تمنجست إريترا basically ساس فورك نزيوم ز constitution rule الله هابناز بولو أي تقبلون أسيروهم I'm بحصل charges زي هون نجارات Trump تبجرو سكاب حجة أسيروهم الله يزبلكم زلو and then it goes into more detail. Now you want to keep going forward?
No, go to the previous page. I want to see something real quick. Oh, no, don't go there yet. Go to the previous page. I want to see the year. Is there any date on here, Captain?
That says received by the criminal division in 2022. I'm sorry, 2002.
Okay,
2002.
Okay, let me share with you the dynamics. So remember when I said earlier that USA said no for them to have a base there? While they were saying no to have a base there, they didn't want to deal with Isaias because of all this as well. All this was going on at the same time, just so you know. And they were aware of this, just so you know.
They wanted
okay, good.
Eritrea, Mangiste Eritrea military base USA could صرحها بإريترا دي ماينر. They wanted USA to create a military base inside of Eritrea.
Yeah, because Isaias wanted to be part of the coalition of the willing when we were going into war with Iraq. Isaias wanted to be a coalition with the willing, but America wasn't having it. So it is what it is. I was just saying this was going on at the same time. Go to that next again. Let me see what this is. This one is what? Okay, yeah, you can read that one. $305 is what they paid on this one. Go ahead, you can check it. Share the information. Okay, go back. So the cost to do all this kind of stuff we're talking about is $305. So you want to, and that's how it works. But the thing is that's not where the hard part is. The hard part is Hizbi. You want to collect the Hizbi, inform the Hizbi, and have a system that the Hizbi can trust. Okay, next one, it says EPLF DP. Yeah, go to the next one, Howard. Now, this one, Eritrean Justice Seeker Adhanom Gebremariam is the registered agent on behalf of Eritrean People Liberation Front Democratic Party based out of Germany. And look, they're registered as a foreign party. Ding, 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 ding. This is exactly what everyone is trying to do. And this is exactly how it can be done. So now they're a foreign party based out of Germany. Shout out to Germany. And then who is the president?
Why is it registered as a foreign political party and not the actual political party? And why did it change to foreign political party? What year was this?
Okay, the year on this one is on the bottom somewhere. I'll find it later. It's on the next page. Anyways, the year is after 2002. This is after 2002. And the reason why it's calling themselves a foreign political party is because the government of Eritrea already exists. Eritrea is already,
and they changed it to PFDJ at that time frame.
No, they still called it. Eritrean Government. You'll see the name later, but it's still called. Go back. Don't worry, we'll explain it later. Just go back to the first one that you were just at. Okay, that was it right there. So now,
which one? This one?
Back one more.
This one.
Back
Go
one.
back.
Yep. Perfect. So now my point is, it's not registered as a foreign committee. It's not registered as a foreign agent. Mesfin Hagos registered as a foreign political party. Good job. Then read number 6.
If the foreign principal in a foreign government state, branch or agency represented by a registrant, name and title official.
It's NA. Read number 7. That's the one you want to read. Number 7.
The foreign principal is a foreign political party, state, principal address, name and state official with whom registrant deals, principal. So chairman, Ms. Funahagos, establishment of constitutional government. Also, Walabsidet Koloba, Ms. Funahagos and Andonum, they were trying to create a constitutional government of Eritrea.
Correct. So his intention was to create a government inside Eritrea. He made it very clear to the Department of State. So bring us back to the present reality. Hedji, we're all trying to do the same thing. He says that we want a constitution in Eritrea and so forth. Hedji, I'm just letting you know how it was done. The reason why this is important from the Hizbi, so that way there's no more kolel halolo, because there's a system to it. And the thing is, the movement and the Woodibs have to work together to make the system happen, because we couldn't do what we're doing in the political front if the movements are not doing what they're doing. And the movements are not going to be heard if the political front is not communication with diplomacy. That's how it works.
Yeah, but can we be honest for a second?
Hell yeah.
Okay, let's be honest. I'm going to ask you a difficult question, and I would like you to answer that question honestly, wholeheartedly. Cool?
Okay. If I can answer it, I'll answer. If I can't, I can't.
Okay, we're on solo layout, so don't move the camera too much.
Okay, sorry.
Now, would you say the Eritrean people are their own worst enemy?
I would say a gap of understanding is an enemy. A gap of understanding is an enemy. I don't want to blame people, but a gap of understanding is a flaw, is a problem. You have to increase your understanding, period.
If every single Eritrean citizen thinks that they are political experts, how do you expect to get anything accomplished? Because it almost becomes like when you have great ideas and you can move them forward, sometimes some of them do it intentionally because they have agendas, some of them do it unintentionally with the lack of education.
Yeah, the important thing is this: education or no education. The important thing is let them get out what they're thinking, let them get their thoughts out. If there's a flaw and it can be proven, then it can be explained then. But the key is we have to be better at respecting one another individually, respecting one another as a civic organization, political organization. We just have to respect just to respect. In fact, on the DC, I don't want to spoil it though, there was something that I did that respected everybody. Not everybody was with me at that moment in time, but I still acknowledge everybody, and that information will be explained tomorrow. But my point is, if you lack information and you're kind of going against your unique talent, this and that, your experience is your unique experience. That's something that should be shared. And then I think we just need to be better at listening and understanding each other, no matter if the opinion is wrong or right. It's just listening is the first step of having an understanding. Go ahead.
Why can't the Eritrean opposition and individuals and members play their position? Why does everyone want to be in charge?
I mean, why everybody wants to be in charge? Because everybody wants a vision that they're trying to push. The better question is, why can the visions be explained in a way that we can work in understanding, that we can work collectively together? But if everyone has a vision that they want to push, let them push the vision. But the thing is, it'll be more effective if we do it together and have an understanding of what the vision is. So that way there's no surprises later on. That's the key. That's the key. So my short answer for you, Captain, is because they have their own independent vision, is why that everybody wants to do their own thing in general, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's more effective to do it together.
Would you say there are some Woodibs that are occupying space and maybe more interested in money and funding versus some Woodibs who are actually working for the betterment of Eritrea? And if so, well, the first question is yes or no. And if the secondary question is if there is, by the way, there's 1,000 people watching. Those Woodibs that are more interested in circumventing the system and actually working for personal gain, how do you combat that versus the real Woodibs that are actually working for the betterment and freedom of Eritrea?
So what we're doing now is an example of how you combat that. The combat for that is just education. The more Hizbi that's educated on the systems and so forth and has better understanding of civic organization, the more you have that, the better it is for people knowing when they're told something, how to work together. But at the end of the day, no matter what somebody's doing, how they're doing, it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you need Hizbi support. Without Hizbi support, nothing can be done. That's what it comes down to. And then you need money in order to make things happen too. And so the question is, how is the money being used is the better question. That whatever money is being raised in general, how is the money being used would be the more effective question. Then you see how effective that is for the movement. Like right now, we need money for future lobby projects, for example, if we wanted to go that route. The lobby firm that we use has to be better than what we can do for ourselves. If I'm able to get in front of decision makers and so forth, they better get me into another level, because they can't do what I can do and then have me pay them. It has to be better than what I can do for myself. That's the purpose of a lobby firm, and I'm
How
confident. Huh?
how do you how do you isolate individuals who claim they're delayed fatigue? For example, the Blue Revolution has many different ideologies. The Blue Revolution has Menenet Alisti, Aurajat Alisti. The Blue Revolution has Haimanat Alisti. It has just an array of different ideologies. How do you gather these folks and get them to focus on one mission: free Eritrea? Obviously, you cannot place the carriage before the horse. The horse has to lead the carriage. So before they can achieve whatever goals that they all dream of, how can you ensure you isolate and create boundaries for individuals who go above and beyond to make us Dembe Enklil versus Dembe moving forward?
Okay, so we have to manage our own expectation. Hiji, when Eritrea was Eritrea, let's just use America as an example. America, we have about 41% of the people that participate in the voting process in democracy per se. The rest of them don't vote, right? But 41% of the whole America is what created the current president right now, the current administration right now. So with that being said, we should not be expecting 100% of Eritrean justice seekers or 100% of diaspora community to participate. We should not expect that. That's number one. From the people that are participating, though, we should have a level of communication with everybody to have an understanding of what their vision, what their mission is, and so forth. We should not expect everybody to be under one wudduf. That's not smart. We should not expect everybody to be under one religion. That's not smart. We should not expect everybody to be under one arauja. That's not smart. So what should we expect? We should expect diversity. That makes sense. We should expect a protected nasal. That makes sense. We should expect sovereignty of Eritrea. That makes sense. So when you have these things, these components, right? If a group want to act a certain way and participate a certain way and advocate a certain way, and it doesn't infringe on your participation, then it is what it is. You let them do. But what I'm trying to say is our mission is to create a constitutional democracy in Eritrea and so forth, and have a society that respects one another. In order to have that, we got to respect ourselves here in the present moment. And if we want a democracy, we got to operate as a democracy and respect each other's message.
Fair enough. All right, let's get back and we'll wrap this up. But first, let's get back to our PowerPoint slide and keep moving forward so we can finish this up.
Bye.
How many
Let
pages?
me read this. It says right here, absolutely, by sharing the truth, the unveiling awaits beyond the threshold. Individuals will gain a new perspective. Yeah, good job. Thank you, Sarah, for posting that. That's a good comment. Okay, now let me read what are we looking at? So this one right here, oh, Adhanom, okay. So on this one, Mesfin Hagos and him are working together, and they register as a foreign political party. Go to the next one. This one's based out of Germany, by the way. Shout out to Germany. Oh, stop. It says, okay, when did he do this? On May 12th, 2003. There you go. That's when he did this. So effort was made. Anybody who's saying effort wasn't made, effort was made. Go ahead. Now, I guess they split up. No, not yet. They didn't split up yet. Okay, so this is the same thing. Let me see. Yeah, go to the next page. This is nothing. Next one. Okay, this one is back to Higdef now. The only reason I brought this up is because this lobby firm called Alexander reached out to them and gave them a proposal. And they gave it to Girma Asmarom. Okay, go to page 1, 2, 3. Go to the next page, Cap. I'll tell you when to stop. Let me see. Keep going. One more. Oh, keep going. Right there, stop. So this gives you an outline, confidential memorandum. And if you guys wondering why I have this information, is because the government already declassified it and we're able to have access to it. So on April 28th, 2004, Go ahead and read all that, boy. This is about to freak you out. This is 2004. This is while Hegdef was talking crazy about America. Go ahead.
Based on our discussion, based on our discussion over the last few months, this is a draft work plan that has been developed 2024 or 2004. Continuing our successful profile building efforts on Capitol Hill within the Department of Defense, State Department, and the White House. An effort will be made to develop support for Eritrea within the House leadership. Meet with you and other officials on a weekly basis, describing the methodology of work provided separately. Increasing support for implementation of the April 13, 2002 decision of Eritrea Ethiopia Boundary Commission. Exploring expanded bilateral defense cooperations. Continue our outreach to policy groups in Washington. Improving bilateral diplomatic relations. Maximizing the impact of political activities by Eritrean Americans during the 2004 election cycle. Election. Discuss the possibilities of strategy, communications plan, including a public relations effort, and then a more detailed discussion of congressional profile building initiative follows. Eritrea has successfully built relationships with members of Congress. Ask Higdef, they'll say we have nothing to do with America, including that, including Kulaba America at Kainera, Kulaba America at Tafarimanera. Members of the House Appropriation Committee Representative Wicker Tisher Kirk, and awareness with senior members of House International Relations Committee, also continued established relationships, especially with the reps, blah, blah, blah. Our objective will be to develop active champions within the House of Representatives and the Senate will engage their counterparts, the executive branch, to guide, improve the bilateral relationship. It's crazy how they count on America for the executive, judicial, and legislative branch, but they don't want to exercise the same branch system for freedom and democracy in Eritrea. It's insanity.
That's how
Again, confidential memorandum.
Okay, let me see this one right here. And then, okay, first of all, the fact that I have it tells you that they declassified it. So they can't, it's not really, it is what it is.
So they had a political action committee set up to help Eritrea, America.
Exactly. All right, now, this is now, Mesman Hagos, now, okay, so now we're finished with Hegdef, now we're focused on Eritrean Justice Seeker. Haji, Mesman Hagos, and the guy I told you earlier, they separated. And now they created a new movement called Eritrean People Movement. And their registered agent is a guy named Tesfu. Scroll to the bottom. The principal is based out in Addis Ababa. And the organization is called Eritrean People Movement. Notice, they called it Foreign Political Party. And they did this on August 2005, August 25th, 2005. They created a foreign political party. Now, how many people knew about this? I'm pretty sure the politicians during that time, they know about it. But the Hizbi, like me and you, Kat, we didn't know about it because maybe we weren't paying attention to this kind of stuff, but they didn't publicize it like they should. If they truly want support from the Hizbi, they got to do what we're doing right now. How many people that we have in this room right now?
1,085.
You know why 1,085 people is here right now? Is because this is informative. This is engaged. I bet you Hegdef is in this room right now too. They're being engaged too. Even Hegdef didn't know what I'm sharing right now, except maybe the ones that oppress people. So here's my point.
I promise you, the youth who's been lied to, and when you get actual information like this, and this is public information now, right? So
yeah, it's public. Yeah, it's public. Why PFDJ doesn't know about the Eritrean People Movement? They don't know about Mesman Hagos trying to push the Constitution. They don't know that. Now, the only reason why PFDJ pushes support on YPFDJ, the only reason is because they know they get financial support, and then that's the only way. They have a Hizbi that supports them for selfish reasons or fear reasons. They have that, or Ishanet reasons. They have that, or evil reasons. They have that. It is what it is. However, if we can increase the education, right, on what's going on, all we're asking for is to respect people's rights. All we're asking for is for them to have multiple party system. All we're asking for is to address all the people in prison and address all the people in grievances. That's all we're asking for. It's not complicated. It's very easy. All we're asking for is a private sector in Eritrea. It's not complicated. It's very easy. So let's go back to this.
It seems to me though, people like you and I, young Eritrean, who try to expose the truth to our people, they try to make us Ethiopians. They try to lie and say our fathers and mothers
I
were.
mean, we're not even talking about Ethiopia though. I don't even know why we didn't bring that
No,
up.
no, no.
I
But
haven't said, not one
that's
time
the
have I
whole.
said Ethiopia.
No, no. But that's the whole. Because in here, in the documents, it does mention Ethiopia. Even in the bottom, if you see
Oh,
Block
oh,
7,
yeah.
and
I
the foreign
apologize.
principal is the
Yeah.
foreign political party state principal address, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, is what it says on this form.
Well, do
But
you want it to say
the whole
Sudan?
HIGDF PFDJ propaganda is in order to make us seem like we're not telling the truth or isolate us from the movement. They try to say we're Ethiopian or Tagaru or Amharu or whatever. That's the oldest trick in the book. No one can take
Okay.
our Eritreanism away. We're trying to liberate our people and we're educating the masses. Period.
Yeah. So the bottom line is the principal location. The last one from Mesman Hagos, he said it was in Germany, and then this one is closer to the ground, right? So he's saying
Mhm.
the principal location is Addis Ababa. All this tells me is getting closer to Eritrea. It went from Germany to Addis Ababa. It is what it is. I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, what else they expect? Go back to the previous one. Okay. What happened to it?
Which one?
Go page 2. Go to the next page. Actually, no, that was it right there. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Okay, on the bottom, it says Adhanom Mariam is the deputy chairman of Eritrean People Movement. So he's not with EPLF DP anymore. He went with that. And then the principal aim. Read the principal aim, Captain.
Well, where is the principal aim?
On the very number 7, on section C, number 7.
So number 7 says the foreign principal is a foreign political party state. Fiscal address, Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Name and title officials, Adhanom, deputy chairman of the Eritrean People's Movement. And then principal aim to strive by peaceful, non-violent means for the establishment of a constitutional government, Eritrea. Wow.
Okay, so it's the same mission as Mesna Hagos, but for whatever reason, they parted ways. It is what it is. They parted ways, and he decided to do it under Eritrean People Movement. So the concept of the reason why this needs to be important to be shared to the youth, they need to understand the generations before you did their effort. So now the solution is for us to learn from them, at the same time, learn from each other and focus on our desires and make sure we fulfill our desires. We have to get clear on our vision. And then that makes the working together a lot easier. Okay, next page. Okay, what is this right here?
So we got about 10 minutes, my brother.
Okay, next one. We finish right now. Next one. This one right here. No, go back. Don't skip it. Go back. Let me see. This one right here. Who's that? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, next one. Next one. Next. Okay. This is the lobby firm. And notice the box is checked, foreign government. This is Eritrea's lobby firm, and the foreign principal is called Embassy of Eritrea. And next one. And just so you know, when this was, go back to the previous page, when this was formed. This was formed 2004, or was it 5? 2005. Next page. One more. Keep going. This is the lobby firm still. Keep going. Okay, right here, boom. This is the contract between HIGDF and this lobby firm. They're asking for $65,000 per month, and this is in the months between January 12, 2006 to July 2006. And up front, they wanted $195,000 for their lobby work. And all it is strategy and execution, strategy and meetings and so forth. So I mean, it's good.
كله هيجي بتعدوا كله هنا تعدوا اساي ساعتون قالملي كله باللابيز بالكونغرس كله بامريكا تعدوا.
Yeah, keep going. Next one.
Yourself.
Next one. Okay, and then boom, signature. Who signed this? ED. Okay, that's on their side, and on there you go. And that's January 13, 2006. That's the contract. Okay, next one. What is this? Oh, this is our brother. Hold on. This is brother Mr. G. Hey, you got to give it respect and kudos to Mr. G. I'm proud of you for doing this, Mr. G.
This is Mr. G.
Yeah, this is Mr. G. It says it right there, July 31st, 2022. And he told everybody he's going to form a government exile. This is the government exile right here. So then now the question is, what's the systems that's going to support this government exile is going to be the key. You see what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. So, but it can be done. I recommend it be done by coalitions and it be done on the Blue Revolution. Again, this is how he said it. Go to the next page.
If Mr. G filed this, who does he file this on behalf?
Of himself. What do you mean?
Huh?
He listen to what it says. The registered agent is National Representative Council of Eritrea, period. Primary address is right there. Don't worry about that.
Stand by. Stand by. Name of registrant is National Representative Council of Eritrea.
That's it, done. Go to the next page so you can see the principle. On the bottom, it probably says
change if the registration individual omit response to items for if the registration previously filed in Exhibit C. This is our Mr. G. Zalo?
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
I think he mentioned this in the past game.
He has. He's been very aggressively doing this. I give him
Mr.
respect.
G's smart. I mean, the fact that he knows how to do this is pretty good.
Yeah. For the effort, exactly.
Have any persons become partners, officers, directors, familiar officials during the 6 month? No. If any persons cease acting as partners? No. Has any persons named an item rendered services? No. During the 6 months. So this is the same thing as they do.
Go to the next page so we don't waste time on that, because I know it's going to get shut off. So next one. That's the next one? Oh, wait, no, go back. What does it say? Okay, that's nothing. All right, next one. Okay, this one. Yep, nothing special. Keep going. Okay, so and then he's doing a lot of activity, a lot of work and stuff like that. This just talks about donation here, donation there, sending money here, sending money there. And I know we're short on time.
Mr. G?
Well, I'm going to say his organization. I don't want to say him as an individual because you got to assume he's working with people. You can't. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't know. Only he can explain it. But my point is sharing this is there's a system that we need to understand can be done, and the Hizbi has to be educated. The reason why we're doing this in English right now is because I know a lot of people understand English, and I want them to start talking. I want them to start talking and start working together. And the purpose of this is to be informative. Then once you're informative, let me explain to you. Once you're informative, it's harder for people to dupe you, right? Because it's not good to do any kind of ideology. You don't want to idolize nobody. That's number one. You want to focus on Masa Mahallah for the Hizbi and Masa for the country. Masa means sovereignty for the country. Masa and Hizbi means individual rights and so forth. These are very critical concepts. That's where we have to educate ourselves. And the system, once the international community sees the Hizbi, Blue Revolution is already making a lot of noise. A lot of people remember in the Blue Revolution didn't even know that flag was elected back in 1952. They thought that flag was just a thing. They thought that flag was given by the UN. So remember, Captain, me and you were educating some folks in the clubhouse.
Yeah, so, but you and I have been rocking melee before all this stuff.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, back in during the T.R.A.P war, even you before that, you did it way before me. So you're the one who educated me on it, actually. So my point is, education is the tool for our solidarity. Okay, go to the next page. Oh, I can't see that. Let me see this one. This one, he's just saying where he disperses information, and which he did a good job. YouTube, blah, blah, blah.
Mr. G is pretty smart that he's already understanding this system.
He knows the system. He's smart. He's an OG. He came here back in the day.
Gevre.
That's him. That's Mr. G.
Gevre, is it Z?
No. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Z.
Gevre Z Buhodari, Mr. G. Ambassa.
There you go. So the only thing he's lacking is doing what we're doing right now, educating the public. That's the main thing.
So that wraps it up, I think, right?
No, yeah, it wraps it up. That's it.
Yeah,
We're done. All right. take that screen off. Now let's bring in the questions. Or are we finished because we're running out of time?
I will ask you a few questions before we wrap it up. I'm going to remove this from the room. It's just you and I now.
Okay, cool. I'm okay.
All right, brother.
That was a lot, man. I'm tired. Now, here's the good news. I never have to do that again because now people know. And if you want to know,
that's excellent information, and it's necessary information. We have to go through this painful process for the people to understand that we want democracy, we want freedom. G15 كاني حتى قربوا تعاسيرهم تيم سلسة زوج غاني جينا حربين دهانهم مصفن حاجوس. What was the other one's name? Macarios. Yeah. They attempted to right their wrongs, and PFDJ would not allow them, or Isaias. So there's already a group set that was not going to allow them. So they tried. Yeah, I understand. Again, some of them have a lot of experience and knowledge, and they've already surpassed all this obstacles and can teach us a few things. Lilta, has Mr. G been out talking about this? I don't know.
Okay, Mr. G has been talking about government and exile, but he didn't explain the details of this the way we explained it. The reason why we explained it because we didn't want nobody to take advantage of the lack of knowledge. And so I figured, you know what? Because even me personally, this presentation that we just did right now, I had this presentation with all the wood dips that I can think of. And the reason why I had the presentation with all the wood dips is because I told them, hey, we need to do this together. We need to do this together. We need to do this together. And kullum, all the wood dips, they all accept the idea. Now the question was, how are we going to do it together? That's the question. So my pressure that I'm putting on everybody is bringing it out in the open. Now that everybody knows, now that's the pressure. And then how many people do we have in this room?
There's 1,183 people and 3 media sites.
Perfect. See, and now imagine if all these medias were donors of a movement for a lobby firm, this and that, how much money would be able to push from a lobby firm. So my point is, it only takes this many people to make an influence. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So my point is, I think the wood dips are acceptable to this idea. They're having their own. Afar had their Congress. Eritrean political forces had their Congress, and everybody is galvanized and excited about this. One of the brothers, he left his it was Eid, and he left his and he came into the meeting just to understand what was going on, and then and what I'm saying is everybody is accepted to this idea. So now the question is, we have to make sure the youth understands it too. We don't want this to get lost up in politics. We want to make sure that it's really understood what we're trying to create. You have to know how you're going to be governed in order to remove anybody. You can't just remove somebody and not know what's next. You have to go ahead and create what's next and then take action.
All right, so check this out. So one, if we unite as opposition with one model, right, instead of a million
Eritrean justice seekers, not opposition. We're Eritrean justice seekers.
Eritrean justice seekers, and our goal
pro-democratic.
Right, and our goal and the prize is to remove the dictatorship and bring regime change about in Eritrea and create a democracy, a democratic country. We have people who've already worked through this. People like Mr. G, who probably filled out this paperwork and attempted to file this with the department or whatever. So if we come together and unify, and we can come to an understanding and create some sort of unity amongst each other to move forward, I think your video moving a lot. I think we can succeed. But it's going to take a lot of sacrifices and a lot of understanding, because the more I learn our people, the more I realize we're the most bullheaded people in the world, and we all want it our way. And I get it. I get it. That's what makes us strong as Eritreans. But I think regardless of who you are as an Eritrean, I believe that we all want freedom, we all want justice and democracy for our people. We want to make the best Eritrea there is, and we want peace with our neighbors, right? That's the whole point of this. Now, Jonas, one, in a diplomatic situation, how, and shorten it, right? Because we were going to end this here shortly.
I'll make it short, yeah.
Unify all Eritreans with different agendas. And sometimes I feel like there are certain agendas that damage the movement, and there's certain individuals, and I don't want to mention any here yet, that are older that have a set way that all they do in every WDIV is cause problems. They're not free or open thinkers. It's either their way or no way, and then if they can't have it their way, then they throw a wrench in the system and ruin movements.
Okay, so Captain, the short answer is our diversity is our strength. That's the short answer. Now, how do we get everybody organized? I'd say it's through education, and I'll say it's through Gubri. Small task projects, attainable projects, mini projects, diplomacy projects, coalition projects, where we're working as a collective, just recognizing each other for who we are. If we have little mini groups, then work on the mini groups, but creating little mini projects. We can't think vertically. We cannot think vertically when it comes to our society. We can only think horizontally. And what that means is decentralized is an example of horizontal, and then making coalitions, networks, and so forth, working together collectively across line. We have seen it in Baito Yaka USA with all these other organizations on the diplomacy front. We've seen it. It works. So many coalitions are working together. It works. And so those little mini projects is where it's at. Now, the key is the youth. We have to educate them on what's what, because they already experienced their own grievances. They already experienced their own mistrust. And so what we do is, number one, uncover what the mistrust is. And number two, just work together, bring it out in the open. In the event you discover that you were wrong, it's your responsibility to find a way to make it understand and make peace. It's your responsibility.
So
Go ahead.
Ililta Abraha says you have to find individuals and organizations who are not just for their own profile. Okay.
That's fair.
So that's fair. So let me ask you, there's a lot of people who support Yaakil. There's a lot of people who don't support Yaakil, and there's some people who are in the middle. If it's just going to be a Yaakil agenda, there's going to be who protest that, and there's some who's going to support that. How do you convince them that this is a movement for the people and not just one WDIP?
Okay, so that means the WDIPs have to work in a coalition. For example, me personally, I work with people that are not in Yaakil, right? They're part of, let's say, for example, Bright Future. I'll still work with them. And Alita is a good example. Boom, we're working together. What are you gonna say? No one can stop me from working with nobody, especially if our objective is very similar or the same, or that task is very similar and the same, and then we can find ourselves working effectively. The other groups, FAST. I think I was in one of their meetings before. You with me on that? People that are not in WDIPs, we've been working with them. Team Freedom, come on now, we're here. So you can work in coalitions.
So another question. Would you say there are individuals more interested in their own benefits within the movement versus those who actually are fighting for the people wholeheartedly? And how are those type of individuals? We see many throughout the social media. We see some from T.R.A.P, we see some from the G15. How would you say they're affecting the movement?
Here's what I recommend. Change for everybody is inevitable, right? And at the end of the day, people are gonna find a way to work together no matter what. So I wouldn't say anybody's individualized, but I believe everybody does have visions. And because everybody has visions, I think it's our duty to allow them to do their vision, as long as no one's infringing on our vision of working together. That's all that matters. Then what happens is everybody will find a synergy. Everybody has their unique role. Like, for example, for you, Captain, your unique role is not only military, but also inspiring the youth. You know how many youths follow you? A bunch of youth. They tell me, I always watch Captain Eritrea, and they call you the Captain Eritrea. So you're an inspirer, right? My unique talent is diplomacy, right? So I have to be on there being diplomatic. My unique talent is not speaking in Tigrinya. My unique talent is not speaking to all the Eritrea in Tigrinya. It's not going to happen. I'll speak to individuals in Tigrinya. That's not a problem.
Stay away from that. If you don't understand the language, it'll get you in trouble. Trust me.
Yeah, it'll get you. Yeah. So my point is, I have trust in the people that translate on my behalf. You guys got to hear about it tomorrow. But basically, I can have people translate in Tigrinya. I can have people translate in Arabic. I can have people translate in Sahel, Tigray. Any language that I need, I can have people translate. And I have a technology in my hand to translate. So my point is, let's just focus on all the positive that we're doing collectively, create coalitions, and then you're going to see the winner is going to be the one who can galvanize and make coalitions among one another at all times. That's what it's going to come down to. The one who could solve problems is going to be the winner of anything.
Do you believe the opposition or the Eritrean justice seeker community lacks honesty?
I mean, I think I'm gonna break it down to, I think it's a gap of understanding. That's what it is. I'm not gonna go to honesty, this and that, because I can tell you this. I've seen plenty of people that have attacked me, right? Personally, that attack me, that works with me, right? And then what we discover is when they attack me, when they work with me, they discover there was a misunderstanding. So my advice to anybody is seek to understand instead of trying to be right, period. Because always assume there's a misunderstanding, period. That's what I do.
And
I always assume.
So I accept your message, and I've been through a lot myself recently before now. But how long are we going to play kumbaya? How long are we going to, hear me out? How long are we going to turn the blind eye? How come we don't isolate and pinpoint what the real issues are, seek to fix them or remove them, and then move forward? How come we go in circles? Because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Why is that?
No, it's not for the feelings, because you're asking the question to somebody who's in diplomacy. So I'm going to give you a diplomatic answer, period. That's what I do. That's what I am.
Fair enough. Yeah, no,
so in diplomacy, one of the tools that I use for myself is I always assume there's a misunderstanding. Then once I uncover there's not a misunderstanding, but it was out of deceit or whatever, then I draw my personal line, not hatred, just line, in knowing how to operate with that person or that individual or that group.
So why would you make it your own personal line and attempt to navigate around that deceitful individual when you should be trying to protect the entire movement from deceit?
Well, my tool to protect any entire movement from deceit is going to be education, period. Education is my tool. And I don't want my experience to create confusion, especially if it's if I could be flawed, as my understanding could be flawed. So my point is, that's how I move when it comes to diplomacy. I don't want my grievance to spread out, because if it's true grievance for mine, or it's not for misunderstanding, it would happen again. And then if it's a big issue, then it can be something that can be addressed collectively.
So if there's corruption, it wouldn't be your grievance, it'd be our grievance.
Well, yeah, no, there's corruption is a different story, but we're talking about not corruption. But my point is, here's my point. Everyone either has a choice. Either you work together or you don't. But no one has a right to impose on how somebody works, is what I'm trying to get at.
Fair enough. I think we could discuss this forever. I believe I'm very forward in when I make assessments and accusations. I will not speak unless I have some sort of proof. Sometimes for the sake of the struggle, I keep things quiet. You know what I mean? I don't want to destroy movement, because in order to fix one situation, sometimes you may damage another situation. So sometimes the way this delayed footage is intertwined, right? It's almost impossible to fix one problem without hitting all the other issues, right? So for the betterment of the movement, sometimes it's better to just keep quiet and then work within to fix it, like you say, and be diplomatic. But there are times where things are so blatant and so out there that you're just like, wow, am I the only one seeing this? No one's speaking about this. And it's mind-boggling to see the people willing to accept certain things when it's right in front of their faces. And you're like, well, wait a minute, where's it taking us?
Yeah, the main thing that I don't want people to skip is this. The government exile concept, foreign party concept. The next box that needs to be checked is foreign party. And then what needs to be filled in is blue revolution. Come on now. That's where we are right now. So my point is, let's focus on learning more about this. And let's focus on how we're going to govern ourselves in the future. Let's focus on working with even the political organizations and putting pressure on them to get this, to step it up a little bit. And that's where we are. If we have any questions, you can always reach out to Captain. You can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to anybody you think you can reach out to that has an answer. And then you can also research it yourself too online.
Excellent. So tomorrow or after tomorrow, we're going to have another show. We're going to discuss your visit.
It's tomorrow.
tomorrow, your visit to the White House. I
Yeah.
think with our brother Danny, you worked excellent in diplomacy. You represented us in good light. We appreciate that. If I may offer some advice first, let you go ahead and say whatever you got to say before we close out, and then I'll offer some advice as my close friend and confidant.
Okay. I mean, no, that's it, brother. So yeah, tune in tomorrow. I'm not sure what time we're gonna do it. I'm assuming that we're gonna do it at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. We're gonna be discussing the experience that we had in the White House and also House and the Senate and Department of State and all the places that we went to. It's good feedback. It's good results. It's very productive. I'm very happy about it.
Okay, some advice for you, my brother, and I've passed a few of these obstacles myself, experienced as the Eritrean diaspora, who wholeheartedly care about Eritrea, who are fighting for our people. It is extremely difficult to navigate our people. Once you learn His Kayum, everything seems like it's to an extent smoke and mirrors. One person supports you, then turns behind you. There's a lot of things that you got to prepare yourself for. The issue you and I have, ግርህነት ይዝበሃል ኣነ ስኻ ብግርህነት ብልቢ ስለንመፅእ ክንጉዳእ ንኽእል ኢና. And when you're damaged, you have to be strong enough to weather this, because those who are closest to you, you will believe, will never turn against you, but they will. And they may disagree with you, and that's okay. You and I don't agree on everything, but to one extent. To what extent, right? So uh, some will smile in your face and then do other things behind your back, and it's sad. That's what it is. But as long as us in the diaspora, the English speaking population that grew up here and have a different level of understanding or a different type of understanding, you and I might not be able to talk about baita, what's happening in Eritrea, and
Nope. Nope.
I can't tell you that, but I understand geopolitics, and so do you. I think you and I understand it at a way different level than others. Whereas our people are more stuck on tribalism, and they discuss tribalism and Auraja and Menenet, and that's how they things right? And my ideology is it's okay to be proud of where you're from. Again, the problem is if that's what runs you as a justice seekers, then I think you're relapsing backward. Because let me tell you why. Isaias Afwerki rules Eritrea. Everything within Eritrea, to include Meret Eritrea, Bezegedis, Auraja, Haimanot Kulu, Isaias Afwerki rules it right now. So if you're going to fight with certain Auraja and Galamele, you're almost essentially serving him. If you think about it, hindsight, right? If you think about without knowing it, you're serving him. Uh, when essentially you should be only working for the freedom of Eritrea. Again, put the horse before the carriage. And if you work for the freedom of Eritrea, then collectively, with rule of law, you can convince the people to whether you want to run the country with Warada, Raja, Haimana, however you want to do it. His Eritrea, Allah, Maricha, Atyu, comes easily. Again, you have to liberate Eritrea. You can't be fighting Bazaba, Warada, Raja, Haimana, Galamele in the diaspora before you even conform and create a government in exile, because you'll never be able to come together if you're going to fight amongst each other over Auraja, Warida, Haimanot, right? If you do that, we'll never come together as one. This is just my personal ideology. If you can
Yeah.
bypass that, open up your minds and open your mind and think that the grand prize is the removal of the dictator and then the regime, then together as a country we can come together collectively to create a democracy and rule of law, legislative, judicial, executive branch, and govern the people. And then each beheaded can have a voice and a option to vote, right? Depending if you go by population versus numbers, like they do the electoral vote in the United States, anywhere else, and then remove all differences amongst us. And then we could then catapult Eritrea to a different level and then utilize our economical resources, whether it's potash mining, gold, or tanzanite, or anything like that, to utilize it as trading leverage, and then utilize the Red Sea as trading leverage for billions of dollars. We can catapult Eritrea from where it is now above Dubai and everyone else, because we've got the resources to do it. But not least us not forget the indigenous tribes of Eritrea. to include the Afar, the Bilin, the Tigray, and all these indigenous tribes that have to be protected. Because if they're not protected, and we're only thinking as Tigrina, we can then capsize and go into civil war because they too have paid prices for Eritrea. Example, the Afar, as you and I know, as you and I know very well, have went from 750,000 in population to less than 400,000 in population. If this continues, they become an endangered species. I don't want to say species, endangered
No,
people.
ethnicity,
Ethnicity, people, right? Sorry, I don't want to say species, ethnicity. And if our Afar brothers are not spoken for and they're depleted, then they don't have an option but to do whatever they got to do for survival, right? Now, and that goes for any indigenous tribes in Eritrea. Wholeheartedly, this is why I myself believe in Eritrea in this extent, because I feel like every historical content that belongs to us has to be captivated and protected. And if we don't do that, Jonas Haway, we then only become one biher, and we'll be only to assess Eritrea through one biher, and then historical content will be lost, right? The same as they have in Aksum and Adulis. Whether it's Ethiopian Eritrea separated, and Eritrea sovereignty has to be what? Eritrea sovereignty has to be what? Believed in. We have to believe in Eritrean
of course,
sovereignty. If we don't believe in Eritrean sovereignty, then how are we saying we're fighting for the country of Eritrea? We cannot be fighting for something we don't believe in. So I have to believe in Eritrea to fight for it.
Two things: Masal for Hizbi and Masal Naadi. Those are the two things that we're fighting for: sovereignty for Eritrea and also Masal for the Hizbi. Period.
That's
you
it.
Can't go. Yeah.
That's
okay.
So let's focus on the prize and the freedom of Eritrea, and we'll be good to go. I thank you, my brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Did you want to add anything?
No. Just make sure you tune in tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific, and then 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Perfect. You got almost 1,300 people here. We'll continue. Subscribe to this YouTube. I will bring different people in here. We'll continue. Thank you, my brother Yoni. I love you, man. Keep up the good work.
All right.
Blue Revolution.
Too, brother. Yep. Take care. Blue Revolution.
Okay. Ciao, Yoni. Bye. Okay, what? That was it for today. Yoni Mtsayo. بتعامل صبوك ناتو perspective هيفنا يو بروزوح document كامتسينا كما جرى از هاجر إريترا تبعت مسري تامني تقام ومن حجيز وقلملي تي منجستي نبعال أبوتاتنا على سلو خلو قلي تايس أجم فتيرو لهم نيرو قلم خلو رينا هنا next time سب كدول زدل حتى زلو من البعض صباح مسكفتنا يو you can ask them questions or anything you want to ask them. I appreciate it. Captain Eritrea, Dawit, your brother. Thank you very much for tuning in. كلهم أبزي يوتيوب زلهم كاني زلهم subscribe قولوا على اللي تحفتي ناتي يوتيوب subscribe قولوا. I will give you all a voice. Mine is independent media. I don't care. Anyone can come in here and speak. And then share قولوا, subscribe قولوا. Thank you. Have a nice day. Blue Revolution.